Hello, and welcome to the third part of Harry's adventure in Tumourland. I will talk about the first 2 weeks of chemotherapy that have just flown by, really. But first, I need to show off something, which is a big bruise. I'm a child. I love big bruises. Yeah, that is Can we agree that that is coming into zombie bite territory? Because I think it is. I won't get any closer. But just so you know, this is more than 2 weeks old. It was it was worse. It was worse. Not an interesting story behind it, unfortunately. It was a nurse who missed a vein when looking for blood. Boring. So, week one of chemotherapy, I was in the hospital all the time, which is the Churchill Hospital in Oxford, surrounded by a team of world-class nurses and a world-class palliative care team, phlebotomists, pharmacists, other people, my oncologist, other doctors who are constantly helping you, monitoring you, making sure you're okay, giving me lots of medication. I was on lots of anti-sickness tablets for the chemotherapy. I was on steroids, which just sounds like an odd thing to say, as well as the painkillers and lots of other things too. I've got half a pharmacy, actually. You can kind of see over my shoulder that pharmacy stuff. Yes, so what was it like? Every morning I would start with a nice walk to the garden, which was a patio area. And yeah, just have some time to myself, get some fresh air. It was, even if it was cold, I kind of embraced it. It was nice to be outside. I once saw a guy smoking there. This is the oncology ward where you need to like have a COVID test to even come in to the ward. He was, I feel like he was like a teenager smuggling in contraband. He must have been very ill. So I think there was one morning when I cut my walk short when this guy was smoking out there. Then I would return to the room I shared with 3 other guys, and I would start the chemotherapy. Now, the chemotherapy in hospital involved being hooked up to an IV drip for a minimum of 9 hours a day. It was often closer to 10 hours a day. And there were different chemicals. I would be attached to one, it would finish. They would attach another one, that would finish. And that went on all day. So that really was my day. Although at the same time, you know, I am eating and drinking, reading, listening to music, playing games, talking with the guys on the ward. There were some eccentric characters. There was one guy called John who is on his 3rd round of the same chemotherapy as I am. I'm just on my 1st round. So he's about 2 months ahead of me. And yeah, so this was not his first rodeo, obviously. So he had actually brought in framed pictures of his family. His friends were in photos that he put on the wall behind him. He also, when he arrived, he looked like he was coming in from an airport because he had a lot of luggage. And I soon found out why. It was for all his Lego projects. The guy's older than me. Yeah, anyway. Lego projects. Every day he occupied his time making big like Star Wars or Star Trek themed things. It was really fun to watch, actually. And it was something for the nurses to talk about as well. On the note of the nurses, they were, as you can imagine, they were just so incredibly professional, friendly, chatty, made the experience seem, you know, a lot less scary, to be honest, and a lot more normal. They're very good at normalizing everything. The most common topic in hospital, as I'm sure everyone else knows, is just bowel movements. Have you had a bowel movement? How was it? Are you happy with your bowel movement? So the one funny thing for me was, I'm sure all of them were younger than me, but perhaps not, but at least half of the nurses and just the people who work on the ward are younger than me. Did make me feel pretty old and did make me have even more respect for the nurses because they were incredibly good at what they did. Yes, so my course of chemotherapy is called BEP, B-E-P. So that is named after the chemicals. B is for bleomycin, E is for etoposide, and P is the P in something called cisplatin, which actually has platinum in. So I'll talk about the bleomycin later, but just to start with the etoposide and the cisplatin, I made a note of what they do. So they interfere with DNA replication by killing the fastest replicating cells, which in theory are cancerous. So cancer has cells which replicate very fast, and these chemicals go into my bloodstream and they interfere with that by killing the fastest replicating cells, which is wonderful, obviously. I was told a few weeks ago that my tumour was bigger than a melon. They didn't mean a watermelon, but it was bigger than a melon, and I'm sure that it's smaller now. So that's how good these chemicals are, and it's only been 2 weeks. Cisplatin, by the way, which is the P in BEP, it increased the curative rate of people with testicular cancer from 10%, as low as 10%, that was such a low number, from 10% to 85%, which is one of the most incredible jumps in percentages I think I've ever heard of, and I think can probably legitimately put cisplatin in the miracle drug category. So that is, I'm extremely fortunate to be around when this drug is around for people like me. Of course, chemotherapy has side effects. So why does it have side effects? Well, the main reason is those drugs, like I said, are attacking those fast replicating cells. And it's not only cancerous cells which are replicating fast. So other cells include your blood cells, which is one reason why my immune system is very low, because my white blood cells are also being attacked, unfortunately. I think my red blood cells are as well. Also, your hair follicles grow very quickly. Of course, your hair grows quickly. My hair has started to fall out. 2 days ago, I noticed it when I had a shower. Not very pretty. I think I'm just going to shave it by the end of the week, to be honest. I know it looks like I got a nice head of thick hair, but it is not nice just to find that I'm molting and I'm leaving hair just throughout the house. That is just a bit, it's just weird. It's just weird. I feel like a cat molting. And yeah, I might look a bit like a hooligan or a Nazi for a little bit, if it's anything like last time when I shaved my head. But yes, I'm in the market for a very elaborate 17th century Baroque French wig. So if you have one spare, please send it, because I don't want any other type of wig. I only want the kind of ones which go right down to here. And yeah, I want to look like a French aristocrat from about 300 years ago. So it's that or nothing. It will just be bald, no wig. Other cells which replicate very quickly include your mouth, stomach, and bowel cells. So those are parts of the body which are more prone to just being hurt easily. I haven't had any mouth ulcers yet, thank God. I think my stomach has been playing up a little bit recently, but yes, anyway. So look, in a nutshell, my first week inside the Churchill Hospital as an inpatient undergoing chemotherapy went extremely successfully. Even the food was good. You know, I might be a picky vegetarian, but they always had really good options, even foods I've never tried before, including corn stroganoff, which I really didn't expect to find on a hospital menu, and yeah, it was delicious. And you can always get food at any time of day, really. They have tea and biscuits and breakfast, lunch and dinner, everything. Of course, their job is to maintain your health, so they are very keen on you eating as much as you can and being healthy. No complaints about the food. So yeah, really that was my first week. It kind of flew by. The only side effect I experienced when I was there was being bloated, because as you can imagine, I didn't mention that it's about 4 liters. I took about 4 liters of fluid on every day, including a liter of cisplatin and half a liter of etoposide, and also 2 liters of potassium chloride to cleanse my kidneys and prepare my kidneys for the chemicals which are about to go in as well. So yes, I was extremely bloated, but then, so I would be weighed in the morning before the chemotherapy, and it would be around 69 kilograms to 71 or 72 kilograms. And then I would, of course, have the 4 liters over the course of 9 or 10 hours of fluids, including, and then on top of that, you know, any food and drink I have. And then I would be weighed in the evening after the chemotherapy, and I would have put on, I'm not joking, about 5 kilograms. I went up to 76 kilograms, I went up to 75 kilograms. Then every night they gave me a pill, which was this magic pill called, I think it's called furidamide. I could be wrong. And basically it made me piss like a racehorse. So I would go down from 75 kilograms in the evening to 71 kilograms in the morning, purely through just pissing like mad. So that solved the bloating problem. I was bloated in the day, but then at night I would not be bloated. Okay. So week 2, okay, week 2 has just finished for me. Week 2 was mostly at home. I had one appointment at the hospital for the B in my BEP program, the bleomycin, which was injected into my bum, both cheeks, if you're interested, which I'm sure is the only reason really you're watching this video. So that was the only hospital appointment I had this week. It's now week 3, and it's Tuesday, and I'm going in today again for another injection of bleomycin. I'm also meeting I have an appointment with my oncologist today as well, which is good. What else happened this past week? Well, I went to the John Radcliffe Hospital for chest pain, which I couldn't really explain. The doctors ruled out very important things. It's not a heart problem, it's not a lung problem, but they didn't know exactly what it was. Thankfully, it has faded, so that's good. I've also just finished a course of a daily injection of something called Filgrastim, which is there to increase my white blood cell count, although my white blood cell count is extremely low despite these injections. One thing I noticed when I came home from hospital is that my taste buds had changed a little bit. For example, this is orange squash I normally drink, and I found that it just wasn't tasting the same, which is quite an odd thing to say. It wasn't tasting the same as it usually did. Apparently this is a very common side effect. I mean, perhaps it's connected to, like I said, the cells in the mouth replicate quickly and are attacked by the cancer-killing chemicals. Yeah, one thing, I'm almost finished. One thing I've noticed as well is that, like with the big bruise, I am just aching a lot more all over my body. So earlier this week, I was basically a wreck. I won't bore you with the details, but I had pain all over my body. It was kind of a dull pain, but it was muscular pain. I went for a walk, and then for about 3 days, my legs were killing me. It wasn't a long walk. I've got unexplained bruises. You know, it even hurt to sit down at some point. I have to put cushions on all the chairs. And yes, my hair has started to fall out, which is it's just earlier than expected, really. I thought I'd have another few weeks. The main thing I want to say, though, about the pain and aching I've been experiencing and my hair falling out is that none of it is caused by the tumour, and all of it is caused by the chemotherapy. And that means that the chemotherapy is working. And if the chemotherapy is working, it means that my tumour is shrinking. So my hair falling out, my body aching, is an absolutely fine price to pay for having my life saved. And because, this is very strange, but because my hair is falling out and I ache all over, I know my life is being saved because it means my tumour is shrinking. That means I'm going to be getting better. So very oddly, all of this is good news. Anyway, so I'll leave on that nice positive note. Thank you very much for watching. Next time I make a video, I will surely be bald, so prepare yourself mentally for that. And it will probably be in about a month or so, so yes. Thank you very much.